Hi, Rick, 3-minute video presentation again. James Fogarty, new president of EO. Congratulations, James, should I say, EO SA president. You're going to do a great job. I have complete faith in you. He's asked me to talk about the umpires at the football on Thursday night. All right, well, if you tune into Port Fan Radio on Monday night, you're probably going to hear me rant about it, but it was an absolute disgrace. Jessica's already smiling and she wasn't even there and she didn't even see it. But I've got to say, for a professional organisation that the Australian rules football was supposed to be, it is disgusting. It is completely appalling that the fans of a code of professional sport can be treated in this way. The first 10 minutes of that game was just some of the most biased and uninspiring umpiring that I've ever seen. One umpire, I think number 29 for the whole game, had 17 free kicks to Hawthorn, 8 free kicks to Port Adelaide. Before in the last quarter, it was actually 17 kicks to Hawthorn, 4 to Port Adelaide. Now, how can that be the case? I mean, it was just so inconsistent. Are these guys actually getting any training or education about how to umpire a game of football? The chant that came up in halfway through the first quarter, where the crowd was yelling out "bullshit," was fantastic, and I really hope that got picked up on TV, because that should highlight to the AFL how embarrassing that was. I mean, Hawthorn were a bit unlucky with some of the free kicks as well, but Port Adelaide were absolutely reamed, and it seems most of the expert commentators thought the same. There was 7 goals created from free kicks to Hawthorn to Port Adelaide's 1. I mean, how do you get such a bias? One of the worst decisions was the Cam O'Shea tackle. That was just appalling. He picked up the ball, no prior opportunity, standing there, tackled straight away, and it gets called holding the ball. Then 2 minutes later down the southern end, a Hawthorn player tries to take the game on, gets tackled, brought to the ground, and it's called a ball up. What is going on with the AFL? Me personally, I just think it's a Victorian conspiracy. Even though it's called the AFL, it's still the VFL, and the VFL stalwarts are looking after the local clubs. And so they do that by trying to influence the fixtures, but they also do that by influencing the way that the umpires play. Now, we're an Australian competition now, we're not a VFL competition anymore. So how do we overcome this? My tip is all the interstate teams should break the TV arrangement, screw the money, and create a Super League and go out on their own, and then that would cause the breakaway that's needed to get rid of this big central bias. And I've got to say, Luke Hodge is a campaigner. Bugger him. That knee to our captain Travis Bloke was dirty and should have got weeks, and so was the elbow to Hamish Hartlett's head. Semi-concussion, great character for him to go on and still finish the game, but how that wasn't even a free kick is beyond me. When can you actually knee someone front on in a marking contest, get away with it, Luke Hodge? And when can you actually elbow a player in the head, make them fall to the ground and almost get concussion, and it's just play on? I mean, it is just ludicrous, and I mean, we can just go on for hours and hours and hours. We don't need to talk about how Port Adelaide's disposal was really ordinary, so we'll stay quiet on that one, but we'll just blame the umpires, all right? Look forward to speaking to you soon with another video update. Ciao.